Hi, Mom. As human beings, we are perception creators. We create and influence the way that we're perceived by others based on several things like how we act, how we talk, and even how we carry ourselves. We also can create the perceptions for other people or other groups of people. That in of itself shows the power of language. We all possess the power to build or destroy with our words. Take, for instance, a simple question like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's not that simple for every child, seeing how some children's futures are predicted for them based on their identities. This summer, my 15-year-old nephew, he spent a month. That's a nice picture, by the way. He spent a month with me and my family, and out of excitement, I told him that I'd be giving a TEDx talk. He was excited. He said, "Well, Uncle, what will you be talking about?" I told him growth. So through our conversation, I asked him, "Well, what is growth to you?" And this was his response. The depiction of development is growth. But as a young black man, it isn't that straightforward. Growth is difficult in a society where black people's mere omnipresence is entertainment for those who want to keep us inferior. They want to restrain us from living a prosperous life and restrict us to being known as just ghetto. But is that all that we are? Uncle, is that all that I will be? I want you to ponder for a moment on his words, because some of you may think the same way that I did. What shaped that? How did that formulate? You see, we live in a society that perpetuates stereotypes and otherness, where statistics are used to inform policies and enact laws. But the statistics only tell a small part of any story. But how do we become agents of change to start to alter those narratives? How can we create and inspire and give hope in others so they can see past their current circumstances and continue to dream? I believe that we all possess the ability to create change, and that change starts with our words, but then must be followed by our actions. So, in an effort to create change and to alter the narrative around black and brown young men, in 2014, while living in Ohio, I saw a need in my community and volunteered my time by creating a mentoring academy that focused on identity development and leadership training for college age men of color. The program was called Minority Men Striving to Succeed, or M2S2 for short. Over the course of 9 weeks, once a week for 2 hours, we focus on concepts such as manhood and masculinities, identity development, time management, financial literacy, how to write your resume and build your cover letter. We even hosted an etiquette dinner. But at the core of all of that, we focused on academic preparation. This was the university's first minority male initiative, and as a result, we saw an increase in retention, an increase in GPA, and an increase in sense of belonging for these young men of color. For some, the M2S2 program was an outlet and a safe space where they can escape the pressures of the world and focus on becoming the person that they wanted to be. It would be a place where they frequently would be told that they matter and that they belong. And for some, it was the first time where they felt like somebody cared about them, where they could laugh, but they also could cry. Through a community partnership, I had an opportunity to take a group of my M2S2 participants to a local elementary school to read and interact with male students. While we were there, one of my participants came to me with tears in his eyes out of excitement. He said, "Brian, thank you so much for this experience." Now, I had no idea why he was crying or why he was thanking me, but I knew that something powerful happened in that moment. He said that while he was there and he was reading with the young man, he saw himself staring back at him. And he realized that him being in college was bigger than him, that his success in college would serve as proof that that young boy, a 10-year-old child, could make it too. Our words have power and they can create change, but our actions must reflect our words. So in 2016, I moved to Bloomington to work at Indiana University School of Public Health. I knew that I wanted to continue to be involved in my new community, but I didn't know how or if I would even have the time to be able to commit. But seeing the impact that a program like M2S2 had on my institution as well as my community, I knew that I wanted to continue to give back and work with young men to help them grow and develop. As someone who grew up in a single parent household without a father figure, I know full on the importance of having a strong community to reinforce those positive things that are being taught at home as well as in the schools. So to create that change, I had the privilege to take the M2S2 program, bring it to Bloomington, and convert it to fit the needs for fourth through sixth grade young boys. Through the approval of parents and school administrators, the Crimson Leadership Academy was created, or KLA for short. For 1 week, 1 hour, I met with 15 young boys over the course of 10 weeks who were hand selected by school administrators. And we focused on things like improving their communication skills, developing a positive outlook and an attitude on life, as well as ultimately creating a safe space where these young boys could grow, develop, while still being a kid. Now, it's important to me that these young boys see value in what they're doing and that they want to be there. And as a built-in component to the academy, we practice positive affirmations. So each week, I ask every young boy to come to the front and introduce themselves as so. Hello, my name is Brian Richardson Jr. I'm 10 years old. I'm in the fourth grade. I am a leader and I will be successful. Now, some of you may be wondering, you got all them kids to come up and do that? Yes, I did. Okay, thank you. But as you can imagine, some were very hesitant. But around week 3 and week 4, a switch is flipped to see those same young boys who were hesitant at first now excited with the opportunity to share who they are and that they are leaders and they will be successful. That's a true joy of mine. To see those same young boys raise their hands, oh, Mr. Richardson, I want to go first. I want to go first. That's pride. This process is truly inspiring. And what I realize is when you say something over and over again enough times, you'll start to believe it or you'll fake it. But in this case, they started to believe it. And the people around them started to observe a difference in their behaviors, such as their parents and their teachers, from the way that they would act, how they would talk, and even their approach to class. As a way to give back, as a token of my appreciation for them completing the process, we hold a tie ceremony where I have each, look at that, some nice ties, where I have each young man come up to the front, pick out their own individual tie, teach them how to tie that tie, and then they get to keep it at the end. It's a powerful moment in that room to see those little faces light up with the opportunity to learn this new skill, to see their confidence raised just by putting on that tie. It's priceless. You see, every child presents their own backstory, and all of their needs are different. I'd be doing them a disservice if I assumed that because they were the same race or the same gender or from the same neighborhood or because they were in the same grade, that all of their needs would be the same. Wrong. It is critical to find the right approach when meeting with each individual person, finding out what's going to push them to help them be successful in life. We all have to get to that point where we're meeting the individual where they are. And we're not assuming because you look a certain way, here are your specific needs. You never know what a person is dealing with in their life and how impactful your words and your actions can be on the outlook of their life moving forward to inspire them and give them hope. So I challenge us all in those moments where we find ourselves making those snap perceptions about the future of a person or what they can bring to the table, that we pause and we think about our words because they can build or they can destroy. Which will yours do? Thank you.